And yeah, while he's setting up, I want to say again, thank you guys for coming out. I think I forgot to introduce myself at the beginning. I'm Josh Harris. I'm usually the host. I have my co-host Sean, who's usually able to make it. Because of the weather, he had some issues and wasn't able to come tonight. Special thanks to TechTown. If any of you guys are new to TechTown, I really suggest you guys check them out. They have a really good startup and incubator space here. They also do a ton of events, so check them out when you have time. And yeah, go ahead.
All right, yeah, thanks everyone for coming out in brave and cold, as Josh said. So my name is John Bronson. I've been a full stack developer for the last 15 years, and I've been focusing a lot on community technology. I build a lot in the Web3 space, and so I had the opportunity to visit Buenos Aires, Argentina for DevConnect. It was the 10th edition of DevConnect. Ethereum, I guess about 10 years old now. They have these like large community gatherings that are all over the world. They've held in Osaka, Bogota, Brussels, I believe Amsterdam, a bunch of places all over the world. This one happening in Buenos Aires, which is a great opportunity to fly south and get away from this cold. Literally the day I left, or the day after I left, it snowed. So I was like, it was a good call to get out of here. Yeah, so this one was actually, they labeled it Ethereum's first World's Fair, which is, I mean, they're really going for like a cultural, like, this crypto space is a very interesting space. It is very much like technology and culture together. And so it was a lot about the practice and implementation of this technology. And Argentina is a really interesting like backdrop for this because they've experienced a lot of economic collapse over the years. And they have a fairly high adoption rate in cryptocurrency. I believe it's like 1 in 3 people are on WorldCoin, which is like this new technology I'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, so I'll just like go through it and highlight a little bit of my experience, what I built there. I competed in ETHGlobal, the hackathon that coincides with this large event. And so this just highlights, I wanted to highlight like the architecture of the city. So there was, there's a lot of European influences in Argentina. By curiosity, anyone here visited Argentina before? It's a beautiful place, beautiful place. One thing I've noticed that's very interesting is like, there's not too much new stuff there. So there's a lot of like beautiful old architecture. There's clearly a lot of money in the past. And so there's money to build like massive, unique architecture like this. But there's not so much new money. You'd see some stuff building, but it's nothing like other places like in like Bangkok, you see like crazy new skyscrapers and stuff. You don't really see that. And I also wanted to highlight the beautiful, they have a lot of like sculptures and like beautiful, interesting things to see while over there. So this is like some of the places that I went and saw while I was there. The planetarium was really cool. Like, if anyone wants to see later, there's really cool like projection mapping, like artwork that they did on it. So normally at planetariums they do like projection mapping of the solar system and stuff, but these were like Bitcoin ordinal guys, and they took this like unique artwork and projection mapped it on the ceiling, and it was always like really cool like animations and stuff. And they had live violinists, saxophonists, and pianists like play this like 20-minute long art exhibition. Really cool. And then yeah, so ETHGlobal was the hackathon. I believe it was like 1,500 projects were submitted, 750 contributors. And I wanted to highlight, eventually it's only 48 hours, which is not enough time, but AI helps a lot in this. But we got to kick back, take off our shoes, and there's clearly a trend of people doing the same thing, just kind of relaxing and hacking all over it. And so yeah, while I was there, I built Mystic Island. So your quest begins on Mystic Island, which is a living universe shaped by communities. And so I'll do a brief demo here of the product that I built. So Mystic Island, build, connect, grow. Communities forge realms, realms forge totems, totems forge worlds. So I'm going to begin my journey here. And the first thing I'm going to do is sign in. And so this is powered, this Coinbase, this is a sign-in powered by Coinbase, which is an embedded wallet technology, which makes it super simple to create a wallet. I can just simply sign in with my Google account. And I have an embedded wallet built right into my browser through a smart contract, account abstract and smart contract. that allows me to like function without MetaMask and a normal wallet, which is like, if anyone's ever used MetaMask, I'm curious, who here has used MetaMask before? Okay, a few people, but it's a terrible experience. So I can show you MetaMask, and you gotta click this thing, and like every time you do something, you gotta like use this extension to like run to do something. So if you had to always use an extension to do anything executed on the chain, it's obnoxious. So this simplifies that entire process. It makes it feel like any other website. And so, highlighting more of what Mystic Island is. So, basically, I'm a part of a local creative community, and I make canvas frames, and my friends paint canvases at these local parties. We actually we're hosting an event tonight. Later, if anyone wants to come, we've done this art studio. We just meet, we create, people bring out art. It's a way to like build community around art. And this one we did earlier this year over at Lincoln Factory, not too far from here. There's 6 different artists that collaborated to create this piece. And so this piece is serving as our community totem. And so the idea behind this platform is really like a collaborative, creative, digital ecosystem. And so I'm bridging the real world collaborative creative side and basically digitizing that. And so I can demo some videos of this creation later. But this is 6 local artists that created this piece. And so this is our community totem for this project. And so let's go ahead and explore the island. And so on this island, there's these different like locations that you can explore. So I'll start with this explorer's main path. So I click into this. I leveraged Veo 3 to create these like interesting video game-esque animations influenced by the creations of our community. And then as you like go and visit these different locations, I already collected the magic here, you can collect magic. So let me go through and visit some other places here and collect more magic. So we have this meadow of lumen tree. Go ahead and collect some magic. This meadow flower. No, I didn't get to it entirely, but the plan is to make this more of like a sequential story-based experience. And so that's like would be the full game. Like any game you would have, you play like Red Dead Redemption, there's like all these different stories. And so the next evolution of this is really just it takes creative effort, right? So it's like it is building more tools to make this creative effort a little bit more streamlined, but the goal would be, so like, if anyone here has played Myst by chance, did anyone play Myst? Okay, well Myst is like this like island game, it's like you just click base explorers, like puzzles and stuff, and there's like this like story you find out along the way. So it's like, that's the inspiration of the format of this game. And you can see here is another animation, so my character goes and finds this hidden key in this piece. I didn't get around to making videos for all of these, but and then let's explore it. Found the path sanctuary, so my character got that key and he throws it in and he creates a path and he's walking onto this walk down his path. So with that, this is like this creative, collaborative game. The idea here is to be able to make this like a collaborative thing where other creators can add on to this like story-based world, and we could use the network effects of, hey, I contributed this story, this like script or sequence within this story, and we're using AI to leverage real-world creations to influence that story. I can demo other artwork later, but we can create these like side stories based on an individual artist's like actual physical creation. So at the end of the day, this is like a collaborative community marketing tool leveraging AI. I think that's like the best summary of it. And part of the idea behind this was, okay, you go in these like engagement techniques. So it's like you market the various parts of the story. People engage, they collect magic, and now as the fans collect magic, you can power up the community totem. So it's like, okay, this is great. I love the story. Let's power the community totem. as the community totem earns more power, it unlocks more for the community to be able to unlock additional features. Really just, I think the simplification is like AI credits. So you pay for some AI credits and you're able to build out this world using those AI credits. And then if you have an engaged community and they power you up, they're just basically giving value back to you to continue this creation that you're doing. And so that's like the general gist of what this project was. And I built on a number of different technologies using Web3 to make this happen. So I'll briefly highlight what those technologies are. So Saga Network is a EVM compatible layer 1 blockchain that is deployed via the Cosmos network. And the reason why I use this is it's infinitely horizontal scaling and gasless transactions. And so when you use something like Base or Arbitrum, a lot of these other different blockchains, it doesn't cost much, but it costs something. So it requires like a penny here, fractions of a penny here, but it constantly requires value. And so Saga Network is really like a gaming layer blockchain that allows the host of the network to pay for all the infrastructure, and it streamlines a lot of the operations around for the end user, so they don't need to have these tokens to actually use the run transactions in the blockchain. Coinbase developer platform, they make it easy to on and offboard money. I didn't show it in here, but I have a tool that you can just like click and you buy $5 worth of USDC, and it adds it to you like pay with Apple Pay. So it makes it like super simple to get funds onto this application to game. And then embedded wallets make it super streamlined. You just sign up with email, phone, Google, Apple, or X, and you can easily log in. You can log in on different platforms. Extremely simplifies the whole process of interacting with the blockchain. X402 micropayments, I didn't demo here. It's something I got a little bit stuck on the settlement side. But this is a very interesting new protocol update that I figured I would highlight that makes micropayments very, very straightforward and easy to do. It makes it really clean to integrate, where it's simply an HTTP request rather than it streamlines the settlement and the verification of the on-chain transactions on the server rather than everything being executed on the front end. It's all managed and simplified on the back end. And so this is an example of what you would do. So let's say purchase a sword for a penny. This is the process going. This one is working on making this work, but this is executed on the front end through non-X402. X402 just like streamlines a lot of what would be implemented on the front end. And so that was a technology I was looking into that I figured I'd highlight as a new trend that is out now that is becoming very popular for paying for like microtransactions within agents through different various applications. And the other thing to highlight that I would demo here real quick on my phone that I think is a very interesting way of deploying applications in the modern world is Farcaster mini apps. So there's there is a change that happened with Apple. So I don't know how many people are familiar with Epic Games. I'll see how well I can tell the story. But Epic Games, has a ongoing lawsuit with Apple about payments in the App Store. So Apple has this 30% paywall where they're trying to take money from everyone, and when you submit your app to the App Store, there's this whole like app review process that's a major pain in the ass to go through. And so they just like silently allowed it. But now there's a change in their what they allow for apps being on the App Store, where you can actually deploy an app that functions basically as an app store. So you can have an app within apps, and they're changing how basically app developers can build apps and monetize their apps. And so I'll demo here quickly Farcaster. So Farcaster is a decentralized social media network that deploys this mini app concept. And so I figured I'd just highlight this real quick. Art Basel just happened, and this was like an interesting like play on value in the internet. So this artist that paid for an exhibition space at Art Basel, they paid like $75,000 to have this stand that was literally just like a point of sale and print a receipt with a number on it. And so the number started at the cost of how much it was for the exhibition. And then as people would come up and pay, it would eventually show that, okay, he's recouping his money. And so now he paid $75,000 for the space, but he ended up netting $114,000. So his art project was just like a play on the value and ownership of the art through this like this interesting thing that just happened. But anyway, I figured I'd have that. And so here's the apps within App Store. And so you can see here within the Farcaster app, there's all these like different mini apps they call them. This like Sword one is a play to earn game. And so the cool thing about what these these ecosystems do is they make the sign-on simple. So you sign up to the Farcaster app, you create your account, and now every single app in here you're automatically a user. So it like streamlines the ability for you to engage with these applications, and also create interesting like social dynamics of how you can play the game. And so this one, you know, you can like slay the dragon or whatever character, and I won't go through all of it, but the idea is, so part of this, they require you to share it on social before you can do certain things. My internet is kind of slow. I'll just say what happens. So part of the game is you have to share a social post. There it goes. So I got this common wood stack, and so part of the decentralized network of what this is, like it, you know, it's not like it's shared Twitter in a way, but it's shared in this decentralized social way. So it's a new way of, I guess, organizing and sharing information and data and building out networks that is an interesting change in that dynamic of what is currently being done for games previously. Now I'll just quickly demo this developer version here. It's a pretty tool. So the same application that I demoed on my desktop here is also available here as a mini app within the Farcaster app. And so again, it just like kind of streamlines like the onboarding process, where instead of having to log in with Google, I can just use my Farcaster account to engage with this application. And with that, what's next? And so to just give a little bit of background, I've been building an app named Renaissance City, which is a application designed for the city of Detroit, focusing on events and culture and all that. It's open source. Everything I do is open source nowadays because I think it's a fun way to build. And I'm looking for collaborators or interested in collaborating on this. But I've learned a lot on this trip in that it's very interesting the networks effects of this new way of building with these technologies. Farcaster's been around for a while. A newer platform that's been seeing a lot of success is WorldPoint or World Network, which I believe, like, if anyone's familiar with it, it's kind of a little bit creepy. They have like these orbs that you go and they scan your retina and it verifies who you are, and you're like, everyone who's on the platform is a verified individual, and they have 37 million users on this platform. That's kind of a weird part of it. Ignoring that, the network effects are pretty impressive, where it's like they had these like group of builders go and build on it, and you know they're getting thousands of users really quick because it's simple and it's like kind of in their face. They have this like active user base that is like the network effects of people being on an app. It's easy for people to find and explore these apps, more friction, less friction to do it, to like get on these apps. And so with that, I think there's an interesting way that we can deploy these technologies in the city of Detroit to do something similar, where the network effects of us building applications in Detroit, we can more easily highlight what individuals are doing, less friction, more marketing, and just like network effects of us building in this way, I think could be very interesting for the future here. With that, thank you for your time. I would be happy to answer any questions.
I watched a video, Fireship video about the 402 protocol. Are there, outside of sort of this really new stuff, do you see that being useful for more established industry, service lines, products, et cetera, maybe a couple of them where you think it'd be a good use case to replace the traditional, I don't know, putting a credit card number?
I think so. I mean, I think probably the number one thing is like the ability to run these like. I honestly think the most interesting about this is the fact of not needing a credit card. So it's like the play to earn type situations where it's like I think instead of it's like everyone back in the day used to be like, okay, let's give you $10 to download this application. I can now give you $10 in actual money that is like semi-locked into the platform, and now you can like execute on these microtransactions within these platforms to like do these various things to like, okay, you used up the value, now you gotta go put your credit card in and then buy and get the money. Yeah, for existing platforms, I don't know. Like I think it's exciting that this protocol. It's funny how simple it is. Honestly, the protocol of what it's actually doing is just like kind of creating a simple protocol around extracting it away to the back end, and then Coinbase is and I'm sure other people probably do the same thing, is they're reducing or they're sponsoring their own transaction costs behind the scenes to make it incentivizing people to use this protocol, so you don't have to, the end user doesn't have to pay the transaction costs, or you as a developer doesn't have to pay the transaction costs. And I think an even more interesting thing that they're doing is as a developer, you are going to get paid 3.75% for the amount of USDC that you accumulate to your users through your API key. Because all they're really doing is creating demand for treasuries. So if we can get people to accumulate dollars in this digital format, then I think that'll be interesting from a monetization way of monetizing for developers. Yeah, for existing people, it's more specific to your question. I don't know. It's interesting. It's hard to say where it's started. It seems very new. Yes, David?
Hey, yeah, I'm wondering what sort of behavioral changes need to happen. What do you perceive to be the barriers to entry for those that are not very savvy when it comes to, well, like, yeah, this is a thing that exists that can run an app within an app. Like, what do you think is like stopping most people from adopting that, and what do you think is going to make them personally invested in making that change happen?
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing is going to be like the value add. So I've been thinking about this a lot, where it's like, okay, so I know Steven does some stuff with AR, John Wolf, another person does stuff with AR. So I think there's a potentially very low ask for just like, even just using this AI to adapt their applications to really just communicate with the main app of like, okay, this is the name of my app, this is the image for it, and this is how I communicate with the parent app. And then it's just like, why not plug into something that has users to market your thing? So I think the ask, it's kind of like almost like a chicken and the egg problem. But what my plan is to build out this Renaissance City app and market it and see what kind of users that we get on, and provide as much value regardless of the mini apps. And then I think that there could be a simple hey, why not take the free marketing of this app that has 10,000 users in Detroit to get your game application out? So I think that's going to be what's going to need to happen for people to get excited about it. And I think the education side is honestly fairly simple to I actually just deployed the Farcaster app today. It's a simple like JSON structure of like I said, the splash image name of it, and then a little bit if you want to implement the actual transactions through the Farcaster app. There's some small things in your application that you need to change.
It would still, like, even the app of an app, so it would still have to be approved by Apple or anything. But if it's approved the parent app.
So that's an interesting thing. So yeah, they changed their. I've heard recently that they changed their what they're willing to accept for apps being accepted in the App Store. Like, and the model is going to be, okay, yeah, you can accept these apps and apps, and they're going to try to take 15%. But I don't know how they keep up with it. I don't believe that if you're looking at Farcaster, I mean, they have a ton of apps. So I'm curious. I have a feeling. I was listening to a podcast recently by the guy who created Ruby, and they like almost like not bullied Apple, but they were like, you're not gonna fuck with us. Like they were tired of the model. Like, okay, we're gonna our app is an extension of our desktop app. Our users pay on desktop or mobile web, and we want to provide our users a mobile experience. We're gonna build this mobile app, and we're gonna do it this way, and we're gonna say, okay, you can't purchase through here. I can't remember exactly how we got around it, but regardless, I think that there's like, if you have some power in the Apple Store ecosystem, like World, for example, like they're a massive ecosystem. I feel like they have a special relationship with Apple that they're able to like get around this stuff, and I don't think like there's literally thousands, and same thing with Base. I mean, that's probably a better example. The Base app, it's Coinbase. You know, it's like, are they gonna start reviewing all these mini apps in here? I don't know. I mean, I'd be curious the future and all this, but in my mind, Apple makes enough money. Like, these guys need to get back off. I'm sick of it. Like I've been working with somebody here locally, and it's been a month. We're going back and forth with Apple trying to get this app in the App Store.
That is an experience.
Tired of these Web 2 bullies.
All right, I'll have to end it there because they're going to try and close up early. But yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And yeah, thank you again, all you guys, for coming out, braving the weather. Definitely one of the worst weather days we've had in a minute. And we will be meeting second Wednesday of every month. Keep up with us on Meetup. Our next event is in January. It'll also be here at Tech Town, so that'll be January the 14th, 2026. So yeah, definitely come out and join us if you can. If any of you guys are interested in speaking, just let me know. We can connect. I can give you my LinkedIn or email, and you guys can reach out. Or if you know anyone else who's interested, they can also reach out. I have to kick you guys out pretty much right now because they want to close the building. But if any of you guys are interested, I will go to the Common Pump, which is like half a mile from here, and hang out there for a little bit.
We can all jump on one table.
Yes.
And make it there.